want every gun we have to fire on that man.
Hello guys, welcome back to another video about a game we call Yu-Gi-Oh! This time I'll be talking just shortly about my Nats experience and the deck I will be playing for the upcoming format post-ban list. Hopefully they keep this card away from the ban list and they don't touch it. Cards insane, I'll get into that later, but I just wanted to quickly say, we had a good group going to the Nats party. We had a real solid testing group, and although none of us were able to get the results we wanted to, we had a fun regardless, and I think I learned a lot just about how to prepare and deck lists. And I think that the format was completely dominated by Snake Eyes, and then having Fiendsmith in there just made it that much more dominant. However, as you may or may not have seen recently at the Euro Nats, this deck topped. Actually won. Sorry, not just topped. Yeah, I mean, I'm picking it up because I like it. It's fun. It's not just because it topped. I have a lot of fun with testing with it and playing with it. So yeah, hopefully they don't touch it too much in the near future, because this deck is really good. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. I'll show you guys what I'll be using in this deck for the time being. So to keep things nice and simple, we are starting out with the 3 Singing Summoning. Card is just ridiculously good, right? Like it's Misk, but almost better, because you search one every turn and makes your guys unaffected, because you only really play fire dragons. So Singing Summon is just ridiculously good. And then obviously we are playing 3 Singing Kaiman. Again, similar to summoning, Singing Kaiman, like these are all 1-card OTKs, which I think is the craziest part about this deck. Assuming your opponent doesn't have any interruptions to these, they are 1-card OTKs. They can all just get you to the engine, and it's just really ridiculous how good it is. Also very fun. We are on the 1 Terraforming. Yeah, I don't know. I think Terraforming is amazing, but I guess if you hit any field spell, you just play Terraforming, and it's automatically at a 2 of, even if the field spell is limited. So I don't know. Even if they hit the field spell at 1, this is a mandatory. Terraforming is just too good. We are main decking the 1 Kaiho. I know some of you other Tenpai enjoyers will think, oh, you're crazy main decking this card, it's bad. No, actually, I don't think it's that bad, because I'll give you a scenario. You go first, and they make you go first. Let's say it's a mirror match, right? They can make you go first, surprising you, catching you off guard, and you lose the die roll. You search this, and then you make them go battle, and yes, most of the time they can OTK still, but if you end their main phase, and they don't get a chance to search off the field spell, or, let's say they normal summon something, whatever the case may be, right? And they have more monsters than you do on field. You fire this off and make them go battle, and then you can save your seals interruption for during the battle phase. And they don't get to bring out the big guy. What is it, Sangenpai? Yeah, Sangenpai and Sentient Dragon. So I just think this forces a lot of stuff, especially if it's not a mirror match, and they make it go first for whatever reason, as if you're in locals and they know what you're on. Now, and also going second, this is something you can search if you have just a loaded hand already, and you don't, you're in a win more state where you have both the field spell and Kaiman, and you don't want to go for follow-up. You search this and then pitch it off the field spell, and then if you have 3 more attacks, it acts as a Sangenpai, Bident Dragon. So you can special summon after you draw 1. Again, you get to draw 1. You special summon any number of Tenpai from your hand. So let's just say you have multiple in your hand. You can just keep special summoning them out. This one, I don't know. I think it's good. I haven't resolved it quite yet, but the idea is that it's a loaded hand or a free pitch off of your field spell. Into the monsters, we're playing the 1 Dora, the 2 Genroku. I'm not going to change too much about this. I mean, I think 2 Genroku is great. Yes, I have seen it in hand when I'm playing 2, but if I see 1, it's immediately dead. I just would rather see 1 every now and then, but know there's another one in deck, rather than always be dead if I draw 1. And even seeing 1 isn't that bad, because then if I pitch it off, the effect's still alive. I use Fadra to bring it back. I don't know. 2 just works. And then the Dora, I think is actually still really great, because your only normal summons are Dora and the 2 Padra. These are the only 2 cards you should be normal summoning out. anyways. I think it's just common sense. If you see one of these, you're probably not searching it with this, right? You're searching out the Genroku or Chundra, you know, so it's not, I think this ratio is good. You don't need 3 Hydra. 3 Chundra though, mandatory. Chundra's amazing. It's your 1 card OTK. God, this card's so good. It's just so good. So many hidden effects with like the start of the damage step or when any monster attacks. You know, with if any monster battles, kind of ridiculous. And I know I'm gonna get more flack from this as well. But the 2 Fadras. I was playing 1, and I realized because we're all main decking Shifter, which I'll get to, it does kind of come up, especially if they make you go first. It does help siding patterns, I suppose. Like if you know you're going second, let's say it's game 3, you can take 1 out. Or if you know you're going first, you take 1 out. Either or, depending on your siding pattern. You know, this is just more flex room for it, but I like 2, especially for kind of awkward grind game steps. Although you shouldn't be getting into the grind game. This normally should be played at 1, but just I've noticed more that 2 has come in handy with different grind games. I may end up cutting it again, but for now, 2 works. To increase consistency. One of the best cards ever printed, Prosperity. Only limits you from drawing cards and having damage to your opponent first turn, but you know, you don't care about that in this deck. Does so much damage already. Not much to say about Pros. It's just, it's a mandatory, right? Okay, so now onto the hand traps. These are the hand traps that everyone has been playing and I think should be still standard, which is the Pirellia. Yeah, I mean, Pirelli is just basically a free draw. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you play this card? I mean, worst case, it's just 1 draw and you swap a card. Best case, you get 3 draws into more hand traps or board breakers. Next up is 3 Ash. Ash is all right. It's a decent card. It does what it needs to do. It's not anything amazing. No, Ash is, you need to play Ash. If you're not playing Ash, what are you doing? Just kidding. But in all seriousness, you have enough non-engine room to play Ash, so you should also be playing Imperm. Imperm is great. I've had too many locals matches come up where Imperm is necessary to beat those kind of gimmicky cards that come out, like Owinda, for example, where it's just like popping it doesn't do any good. You can only special once per turn, right? Like sometimes you just need the Imperm. Next up, the card that needs to be banned because this card is just wins games on its own. Shifter.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, I just like, even as a Tenpai player, I now love this card. However, I completely get why this card should and needs to be banned because it's just, for half of the, not even half the decks, like 90% of the decks in the game, this just stops them, right? Like it prevents you from playing the game almost. And I think Konami is slowly shifting toward that side of things with turning off floodgates, and they may choose to hit this in the future and possibly to 2, because I think if you hit Shifter to 2, does it still become worth running? Probably. If you hit to 1, is it still worth running? Probably not. Probably can't justify running 1 Shifter in your deck, because then at that point it just becomes a brick if you're not seeing it enough. 2, maybe. Might be able to justify it. But 3 is just ridiculous, right? Because you're just asking for a win right there. Honorary hand traps, Pistol, and Drewstorm. I am like, this is standard, but the Drewstorm I think comes in handy because you make the 6 and it's super easy to make Transcendent Dragon in your main phase with the field spell up, and then it becomes so easy to OTK after that. It's basically free. Board Breakers, we're playing the 1 Harpies and the 3 Droplet. This is based off a recent list I saw, and I think it's the guy who's playing Droplet that won Euros. I will admit the Droplet combo with Shifter in the mix is a little weird, especially if you draw both. However, I think the main idea is if you're resolving Shifter, you probably don't need Droplet to break the board anyways. And if you don't see Shifter and you draw a Droplet, Droplet's one of the best draws for turns in the game. So, you know, you don't have to worry about that, but you can just negate the board, and just, if you have to worry about back row, fine, whatever. But at least you're not dealing with a full board. And then the other board breakers, we are playing the 2 Raigeki and 2 Lightning Storm. The Lightning Storm, not a huge fan of. You kind of do need it for back row assistance removal. Yeah, Raigeki I love Raigeki. You don't have to worry about spot removal, monster removal, you just wipe the board. Lightning Storm, Nibs, you do have to side, because if you're making Lightning Storm, you're not going to be able to resolve that if Nibs on the field, right? So I think that Lightning Storm is a good main deck card if you don't play Nib. If you're playing Nib, just take the 2 Lightning Storm, side them, and then throw Nib in. But for me, I'm siding it. Onto the main deck, I will not be showing you the side deck just because it can vary a lot from deck to deck. So I'm gonna leave that up to you guys, and you can comment what you guys think are good side cards. So we're gonna start with the GOAT, Trident Dragon. Yeah, you just, obviously, as all Tenpai players know, you go into that card for DKing lines. Most of the time you don't go into it to start, really, that I've noticed. It's more of like I can make a synchro 10 because I'm all out of options. I don't have anything to do after that, and they don't have any interactions left, and then that's when you bring him out. This guy, though, you try to make every single game. He's kind of like your win con. If you can get to him before you go battle phase with the field spell up, and then you go battle phase with like Kaimin, you're winning. Any of the other 1-card combo starters. The 2 Biden assistants going first, and combo starter going second. Biden just does a lot of stuff well. Black Rose Dragon hasn't come up for us yet, but in theory, it's good going first as well because you can just quick synchro this and then wipe the board during battle phase. Mirror match, it's okay. Haven't tried it in mirror match yet, but that's the idea. And then the other shifter card, in case you don't have enough to make a 10, you can make Kubelt, deal 5k. Samurai Destroyer. Samurai Destroyer, haven't used it yet, but obviously it's great against Yubel. If you've watched the Texas Nats, you know, you just declare an attack, or with anything really, negate whatever you're trying to attack into as effects, and then like you just chain a whole bunch of stuff, right? Like you can chain Hydra to synchro summon on attack declaration, and it's all free, right? So you chain Hydra, you synchro into Bite, and this is still trigger on battle. You go trigger effect, special, and then you can still use all these trigger effects and quick effects while it's declaring an attack, and they can't do anything about it. So he's kind of cracked. Might be bannable if Tenpai gets more powerful. Might be. Very niche, but more going first cards. Sulkin, AFD, and Crystal Wing. The idea behind this is you side in Necro Valley or some other field spell that you have, and then you make your Synchro 7, and then you can go effect, you special out whatever level 4 or lower dragon you want, and you pop your field spell, gain your life points, and then you add the Necro Valley, and then you use the other one, your other dragon, to Synchro 7 into a Biden, and you go Biden effect, you special summon back Chandra, and then you synchro these 2 off for Zulkin, you set the field spell, and then you synchro summon that. So it's a better going first option sometimes, instead of just seals pass. You can also make seals depending on your hand. And then for the pros targets, yeah, these guys you don't really go into. These 4 are always my first pros hits. I will always go after these guys first and foremost. I don't really need them. I don't really like to go into them. QCR. Okay, so that is that for the extra deck. And because I'm not showing you guys my side, that'll be it for today. That is my Tenpai deck profile. It's been performing well at locals so far. Let me know how you guys like it. And as always, subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. Thanks again, guys. Have a good one.